Normally I use Dolphin yoga pose as a preparation for headstand or Pincha Mayurasana forearm stand. But in its own right, Pincha Dolphin pose could be useful for training shoulder awareness, shoulder strength, and also teaching or training external rotation with the arms above the head, which may be a weak point in some people. I know I had a little bit of difficulty when I first started doing this. But anyway, starting from the shoulders, perhaps one of the first things you can do, and I go over this in more detail in one of my shoulder awareness videos, but one of the first things you can practice, and this was the main point that the student brought up, was she had pain in her shoulders when holding Dolphin pose for a while. So one of the first things that you can practice is shoulder awareness, in particular the learning to feel where your scapulae are in relation to your rib cage. So some very simple exercises you could start off with the arms down, are lifting your shoulder blades and lowering them. Perhaps when you're doing that exercise, focus on the peak of the shoulder blade right here, the little bit of bone that you can feel at the top of the shoulder. So when you're lifting your shoulder, focus on pulling that point up and in towards your shoulders. So you're more likely to activate the middle fibers of the trapezius. So, and another point, particularly when lifting the shoulders, start with your rib cage open. So lift your rib cage, also pull your head back and up, not like this, but with the chin down so the back of the neck feels long. With the neck long, that then gives these muscles, gives them a bit of pre-stretch, makes it easier for them to contract, and also gives those muscles a firmer foundation, because with the neck straight and active, gives these muscles a firm foundation from which to act and pull up on the shoulders. And if you keep the neck, so anyway, first lift your chest, lengthen your neck, lift the shoulders slowly, focus on your right shoulder and then your left if you need to, and then relax. And repeat that a few times. And then the next few actions you can practice for shoulder awareness, moving the shoulder blades back and forward. So first, again with chest lifted and neck long, move your shoulders forward so your shoulder blades spread, relax. Shoulder blades forward so the inside edges of your shoulder blades spread, relax, and then do the opposite, shoulder blades back, squeeze them together, and then relax. So repeat those, and rather than just doing the exercise like shoulders forward, relax, back, relax, do the exercise slowly. Focus on feeling this bone here, your shoulder blade. In particular, focus on the inside edge of the shoulder blade. So when you're actually doing the movement, you could actually focus on the inside edge, focus on pulling the inside edge of the shoulder blade forward when you're protracting, then relax, feel it move inwards. And if you're doing the opposite action, focus on drawing the inside edge of the shoulder blade inwards and then relax. So one thing that does is that gives more awareness of your shoulder blade, so it's easier to feel no matter what the action that you're doing. It's also more likely to activate the muscles that attach to the shoulder blade. So for instance, when spreading the shoulder blade, that activates the serratus anterior muscle, and that too is another reason for engaging, lifting the rib cage. The serratus anterior attaches between the rib cage and the shoulder blade. If you expand the rib cage using the intercostal muscles, that makes the rib cage more stable, gives the serratus anterior a firm foundation from which to pull forwards on the shoulder blade. Moving the shoulder blades back, it may not be as crucial. So the rhomboids attached between the shoulder blades and angle up towards the thoracic spine. So for there, lifting the rib cage, expanding may not be crucial for pulling the arms back. But for both exercises, the more you practice being aware of your rib cage, the easier it is to stay aware of your rib cage. Notice whether it's down or up, and position it as you need to in order to then position your shoulder blades. With the arms down, it's relatively easy to move the shoulder blades up, down, forwards and back. Next thing you do is practice the same movements with the arms up. Lift the shoulders, and here again, focus, chest open, neck long, focus on the peaks of the shoulders. Pull upwards on the peaks of the shoulders, and then relax. Up, and then relax. Another point you could focus on when lifting the shoulders and pulling up is the bottom peak of the shoulder blade right here. As you lift the arms up, you can imagine pulling the bottom point of the shoulder blades outwards while pulling the top of the shoulder blades upwards, and then relax. So the action My hands are my shoulder blades. As you lift your arms up, the inside edges of the shoulder blades angle outwards as you lift them. So practice that for a few moments. Slowly lift the peaks of the shoulder blades, spread the bottom points. It can feel like you're wrapping the shoulder blades around the sides of your rib cage and then relax. And as you're doing that action, you could also try moving the arms back a little bit, and then relax, back and relax. And if you have tight shoulders, you may start off with your arms like this. So that could be an exercise for you as you reach the arms up. Work at drawing the shoulder blade, the arms at least parallel, and then relax, parallel and relax. You could even try and bring the palms together, but work towards it gradually. Rather than just bring the palms together, first lengthen upwards and then bring the palms together. So next action, same action, but this time with the elbows bent. And this is where it can be a little bit more tricky. With the elbows bent, the hands, the arms naturally roll inwards, so the front of the arm rolls inwards. That's an internal rotation. To practice external rotation, what you could do is start with your elbows bent, chest up, arms down, externally rotate, and then relax. Externally rotate, so the upper arm, the front of the arms move out, relax. And what you may find when you're doing that is you'll feel action, muscle action at the back of the shoulders somewhere. Relax, externally rotate, relax, externally rotate. See if you can feel your shoulders, feel the muscles that are activating to cause them up, the external rotation, and relax. Repeat that a few times. You could also do the same action, shoulders lifted, externally rotate. So focus on your elbows, or feel your elbows. As you externally rotate your upper arms, your elbows point forward. Relax, externally rotate, and relax. And then do the elbows bent, externally rotate. Try and get your elbows shoulder width apart and relax. Externally rotate, you could lift the shoulders at the same time, relax. Externally rotate, lift the shoulders, pull the arms back, relax. And this can be very difficult on the shoulders, so just that exercise by itself could be a suitable substitute for a dolphin yoga pose. On my website, I suggested an option is doing it with hands clasped. That's particularly if you're using this pose as a preparation for a bound headstand like so. So you could do the same thing, lift the shoulder blades, externally rotate the upper arms so the elbows move together, and then relax. Lift, externally rotate, move the arms back, and so the next stage is to get used to bearing weight on your forearms. And this is actually where we're working towards dolphin yoga pose. So position your elbows shoulder width apart and forearms parallel. And even here, what you could do with your knees on the floor, lift your rib cage up, externally rotate, push the arms forward. So from the side, keeping these on the floor, slowly push your rib cage up, externally rotate the arms, and then push the arms forward so your rib cage moves back. Chest open, neck long, and then relax. So let's do that first. Chest open, neck long. Lift the shoulder blades. So actually, with the arms on the floor, instead of lifting the shoulders, push the rib cage up using the shoulders. Externally rotate the arms. Push the arms forward so the rib cage moves back, and then relax. And then try the same thing with the knees lifted, but keep the knees bent. Move the feet forward or backward. Find a distance that feels right. Open the chest, lengthen the neck. Use the shoulders, push the rib cage up. Externally rotate, and push the rib cage back. And then relax. And then repeat that action a few times. A little bit humid here. So for downward dog, I use a similar sequence. First, knees bent, push the hips back, relax, push the hips back, relax. Then with the knees, push the hips back gently, straighten the knees, but lift the heels, relax. Push the hips back, straighten the knees, lift the heels. This is for downward dog, relax. And then for the next set after a rest, push the hips back, straighten the knees, push the heels down. And instead of pushing the heels down, to get the heels on the floor, what I'd like to focus on is pulling the fronts of the feet up or back towards the knees. So for dolphin pose, knees bent, starting with the knees bent, chest open, neck long. Push the rib cage up, externally rotate the arms, push the rib cage back.
Keep the knees bent, relax, and then from there, open the rib cage, neck long. Push the rib cage up, externally rotate the arms, push the rib cage back, straighten the knees, but lift the heels. Relax, reach back, externally rotate, lift the heels, relax. Now in dolphin pose, for some people it's hard enough. For some people it's hard enough getting the heels to the floor in downward dog. It's going to be really hard, if not impossible, to get the heels to the floor in dolphin pose. But if you're looking for a calf stretch or an exercise for the front of the shins, you can work on getting your heels to the floor anyway in dolphin pose. So final variation. So rib cage open, neck long. And to get the rib cage open, you may find it helpful to keep the lower belly pulled in, so you continue to breathe, expand into your upper belly. But anyway, rib cage open, neck long. Use your shoulders, push your rib cage up, externally rotate the arms, push the rib cage back, and then from there straighten the knees. Keep the neck long, pull up on the fronts of your feet. At the same time, try and open the backs of the knees so your quads engage. Keep the arms rolling out. Keep pushing the rib cage back. Reach your heels. If you like, you can reach the heels towards the floor and smile. I don't think I was smiling. Just been talking about dolphin pose with the hands parallel. You can also do it with the hands clasped. And with the hands clasped, it gives it a slightly different feeling than if the hands are apart. So what I'd suggest, with the hands together, what you can do is work at actively pulling the hands apart, at the same time pull the elbows in. And what you may find with the hands clasped, if you pull the hands apart, the elbows in, what that causes is what happens is that your shoulder blades want to spread. So in dolphin pose with the hands clasped, open the chest, lengthen the neck, chin to your chest slightly so the back of the neck is long. Push your rib cage back and up. Then if you like, lift the knees. So in this position, what you can do is pull the hands outwards away from each other so that the elbows move in. And what you may find is that causes your shoulder blades to spread. May also, so from your point of view, might look like my rib cage is moving up away from the floor, out of my shoulder blades. But rather than just moving forward, I'm going to push my hands forward, keep spreading my shoulder blades so that my rib cage moves back. And then from there, I can straighten the knees and lever the fronts of the feet upwards. So in general, having the hands together will change the feeling of the pose. So in any pose where you're clasping one part of the body with another, be aware of the change in sensation. And if there's a variation where you can do it without clasping, you may find that forces you to use your muscles in a different way, and that is actually a good thing. I'd suggest that it would be entirely beneficial to practice variations of poses where you're not clasping the hands, so you can work on a different kind of muscle control. And then when you do clasp the hands, again, you'll be working on different type of muscle control. So you develop control and muscle control and ability in both types of poses. Hopefully that was helpful. Thank you for watching. Namaste.